now.
This is Yalpelor, this is Yalpelor, 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 Yalpelor.
Welcome everyone to the fabulous time machine of Questers of Yalpelor. Questers
We've
of
never done
Yalpelor,
this before.
for the first time, completely improvised and unplanned, as always, a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar, I'm your host and game master, and I've gathered 3 hilarious improvisers and actors from all over the world to travel through the lands of Yalpelor. With us we have Matt, playing Grebble Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada, playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who has only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life in Yalpelor with her new friends. And we have Talia, playing Aklis Darkmoor, a traveling death knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. These players are here not just to play their own characters. I have asked them to invent and flesh out details in the game world, play other characters, segue into unexpected scenes, and all in all make my job as game master much more scary than it would otherwise be. You can also influence the game. Use your XP to activate commands which will take the game in unexpected directions. For instructions, scroll
Ladies
down.
and gentlemen, these are the voices you can anticipate all day.
All characters are going to be speaking like this. To see the commands, scroll down below the video. We're playing Macchiato Monsters. This is the system that we're using. And we're using assets and creations by all sorts of awesome fans, artists, and ghouls from all over the web. If you're interested in any of the images and sounds you're seeing on stream, scroll
I thought it
down
was done and then it came back.
below the video if you dare and see their own stuff for yourself. And now it is time for a scream from our sponsor.
You said the phrase macchiato monsters as though it was completely normal,
It's-
and then I thought, oh good, he's done. He's not making a deal out of the monsters.
Yeah, I missed
Well,
it.
now my commercial is ruined because it's got the voice.
Oh no!
I was gonna do that voice for
Oh,
the commercial, and
shit.
I'm already sick of
I
it.
almost,
so-
I want to compare.
I've already forgot what Itamar did.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I'm like fascinated to hear the difference between Matt, how you will do that exact same Count Dracula, like
No,
not
no,
even Count,
I'm-
it's the Count from Sesame Street actually. You were doing the Count from Sesame Street.
I'm a little different now,
I
it's all
think
good.
that's probably what I had in mind. Yes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
You sound like Robin Williams.
Hello, I'm Robin Williams, back from the dead. And I am here to tell you all about these mysterious goods that you can buy from our undead store, known only as figmentrp.com/much that doesn't exist but should. Yes. Maybe you want to know the time, hmm? Well, you can get a Sasquatch watch. It is a hairy wrist device to tell you what time of day it is. Maybe it is late, maybe it's dark, there is a full moon, and you feel dangerous. It's okay. We have a were. It will tell you where the were people are. Yes, a were. And if you are worried the vampires are out, you can buy a special vamp amp, which is like a little miniature sun that turns the vampires to ash. Yes, master, yes. And maybe you are hungry in the middle of the night and you want to eat some spectral cooked bread. Yes, it's ghost toast. Oh, and there is one more mysterious Halloween product. It is for if you want to date someone who is mystically ability and you want an arcane dating app. We have Witch for you. Witch. So it's in total Sasquatch, Watch, Where, vamp amp goes toast and which join us, come to our door. Thank you.
Eva Ibbotson called and she'd like a reference back.
Wow.
That was awesome. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Can I just say for the record, I really want the vamp amp. Like, I think that sounds awesome. But I feel like the where would just be really, really loud all the time because clearly we live amongst many werewolves.
Maybe it's better not to know,
we're cats.
is what you're saying. Yeah, maybe.
Was I the only one who grew up with like Bunicula? I feel like that is.
With what?
I don't know what that is.
Yes, I don't even.
It's a children's book about how there's a bunny that's a vampire and it sucks the life out of vegetables in the gardens, and it's Bunicula.
Anyway, last week we were. Wow. We had the first out of probably 2, I think, episodes of a heist. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, actually, we don't know yet, but what might have been the first out of 2 episodes of a heist, and that was the planning phase. We got a plan in which each of you got a role, and then you went
Calling
in.
it a plan is generous.
Hey, I heard a plan from start. I asked for a plan. I got a plan. Whether it'll
And
happen
also
or not,
calling
we'll
it
see.
And calling it a plan episode only is also inaccurate considering.
No, not only. No. You went in and you started actually doing it, of course.
Yeah.
So we're still during the same day of the adventure you had, like this morning, when you went out to find your doppelgangers and dispatch them and came back to the city. A lot has happened today, and you already went as quickly as possible. Now the sun is going down. Outside from the windows, Tris, you can see that the sky is in full dusk, dark purple and orange, and inside where you are, the light is slowly fading. There's no light source. I don't know. We've never established.
Tell us more about the sun.
Yeah. Does it look like a sunny side egg?
It's the orange is exactly like an uncooked yolk of a fresh egg.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes. The room that you're in has no artificial light. We haven't spoken clearly about how well you can see in darkness yet, I think, or have we?
I am one with the darkness.
You kind of
No,
are darkness, yeah. So you're there, you're in the room, and their fading footsteps are gone. They've been gone for a couple of minutes now. You're a little black square, like a little black pocket square on the ground, right on the floor. What do you do?
Oh no, I mean, I think at this, yeah, I guess that's true. I am still.
You can stop being a square, but that's what you are right now.
At the end of the day, I'm square, I'm Tris, I'm all of the things. So one of the things that I was kind of doing, besides mimicking the pocket square, is that I had hidden under one of the pieces of paper that was littering the space, and I had seen Chesterfield. Oh, I know that's not his name. Chesterling. Tris even in my head is like, I don't care what his name is. Chester. It's
never done
Chesterling.
anything bad to us.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
No, it's
Somehow.
not.
But he's never done anything good for us either. Anyway, he's suspicious, man, and I don't know if it's the voice or if it's just Chesterling in general, but it's suspicious. Anywho, I saw Chesterling do a suspicious thing, which is after he'd sort of like fixed the ruin on an endemic drawing before going out with Atlas and Grebble, he had shuffled through some papers as though to make sure that there was something safe, and I saw exactly where that was.
Yes.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the grease to do their grease thing, which is, instead of lasers, we have chalk-drawn runes everywhere on the floor.
Oh.
And Tris, this acrobatic little handkerchief wannabe, has to flip, flop, and otherwise not step on a line as they try to make their way
Or are you gonna
across
do the
what is
laser thingy?
Exactly. Like, think the floor is lava, but there's like, and I have to go, over papers, under papers, over the different parts of the line. Maybe I have to grab something so I can go over a particularly large piece. It's all there, and I want you to hear the Mission Impossible theme song that is currently going through Trist's head, though they don't understand why. And that is what I got to do, man. I got to get to the table.
All right. Yeah. So let's roll. Actually, let's not roll yet. You do your thing. You start slipping above and below pieces of paper. You can slip below a piece of paper and slide under without moving the paper. So thin. You're such a like a two-dimensional black square that is capable of fitting in between even into the tiniest cracks between any two objects. So yeah, and when you come to a line of chalk, you know that even if you even as small and light as you are right now, if you slide over it, you might move some of the particles and create a smudge. You lift yourself and you roll above the line of chalk. Sometimes you need to jump a couple of times, do a little like a double flip above a bunch of lines that is like all bunched together and connecting in different shapes in a certain area on the floor.
Every so often, the camera pauses as I slow motion. You just see Triss's wide open grin, just like.
And you only see it when it's turned to the camera, because otherwise it's just a line, and then it becomes Triss's face with two big eyes, flipping. So now you are very close to the desk, the very large writing desk. When there's a grinding sound, a soft grinding sound that alerts you. Sounds like stone rocks grinding against each other, and a part of the wall detaches and reveals a small passage, smaller than a person, and the creature walking through it is not a person, it's a gremlin, a little gremlin, which has a duster in his hands, like with feathers, stick with feathers, and he looks around. It's not this. It's a different kind of gremlin than the ones you've seen before. This gremlin wears like an apron, no other clothes, but just like an apron that covers the front of its body, and seems a little pudgy and chubby. Except for the like super long and pointed ears, the pointy ears that all gremlins have. This one is pretty round, like a bit of a baby face. And he looks around and goes, and walks around the diagram on the floor, not getting anywhere close to the lines of chalk because he doesn't want to disturb it either, looking for dust to clean in the corners. Behind him, there's voices of other gremlins who are on their way to coming, like also entering the room. What do you do?
Did I see how the door opened? Like where the mechanism was?
No, you either didn't look in time or the mechanism is not on your side of the wall.
But there must be a mechanism. Okay, for another time.
I mean, of course.
So if I didn't see the mechanism, that's fine. Triss, I still have my little piece of paper above me. I've been using it like a hat / it's still part of me. So Triss and the handkerchief, Triss as the handkerchief, we lie down on the ground, but you might just see like the teeniest little bit of the whites of the eyes like peeking around the edge of the paper, but it'll still just look like the paper. Sneaky grease.
It's going to be very easy. I want you to roll dexterity with advantage because it is part of your role in this heist. So let's see.
Yes. Ooh,
yes.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness for advantage. Yeah, you rolled a 6.
Oh, no.
You rolled a 6, and we're all very happy about this roll. You can, if you don't move, it's gonna be super easy for you to stay hidden as long as they're doing their thing. They're not really focused on you because you're part of the diagram as far as they're concerned. And there's other gremlins coming in to the room. In total, there's 5 of them, and they walk around. They spread around the room. They don't have a lot of the room to walk in. Like a lot of the area in the room is available for them because the diagram is there. So where you are, for example, it's far beyond anywhere they're willing to step. but they're still cleaning very diligently the parts of the room that they can get to. The walls, the little panels, there's the one window, so one of them jumps up to the windowsill and starts cleaning the window.
And just to clarify, I'm like right by the foot of the table at this point, right? Like I could go. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So there's two things happening right now. Of course, I have the fact that I've got to get the stuff, but I also have the fact that cat. I also have the fact that there's all these gremlins now, and I feel like they have these big ears and they would hear Triss. So I'm wondering. I'm just looking to see what I have. I want to. Triss wants to project something. Triss wants to project this like feeling that it's all done, that there's nothing left. So sort of like using emotionally, that's sort of like the feeling of satisfaction in a job well done.
Excellent. The satisfaction of a job well done. I love it. Because it's not combat, your power just happens. Your ability just happens. You don't need to roll.
Is this
for
a feeling that we could all get at some point? I kind of crave
Believe me, if
that
I could
feeling.
bottle
I've
it.
heard about it. I've heard it's really nice.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a little bit like drinking a pumpkin spice latte a month after Halloween.
I don't come from a country where this doesn't ring a bell. I don't know.
We do not have pumpkin
Yeah.
spice.
You don't have Halloween?
Or Halloween. Yeah, we don't have any of these things. And I don't drink coffee. Anyway, the gremlins clean super carefully, and each of them has like its own little area and its job. They have different tools. Some of them with a rag and some soapy water. Some of them with a mop. There's the one with a duster that you've seen was the first one. And as soon as you project the feeling, it takes a little while to wash over the room. You like project it outwards in all directions, and it takes a few seconds, and then all of them just slowly, one by one, they will raise their heads, look at each other, and kind of gauge each other's looks to make sure that everyone else is feeling like they are feeling, because it's kind of surprising for them. And then they go, "Huh, yeah, good job," and they walk over to each other and give each other those high fives and hug their little
A job well done. Yeah.
So, I've never dusted quite this way. It's so satisfying.
We're so good at our jobs, we got it done in like a minute.
Yeah, very good, very quick today.
Whoa.
It's just teamwork makes the dream work.
We should go celebrate. Let's go celebrate.
Let's celebrate by staying in here for the next half hour.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's never gonna notice. He's at the observatory. We could just chill and maybe we could even find something to snack on.
Yeah, I was just saying the same thing. I'm feeling kind of peckish.
There's nothing to snack on in here, so let's go back through the passageway.
Oh, I don't know, man. It would be so much fun just to like pretend we're the man.
Oh, yes. I love it. Just don't step on the lines.
Oh,
No,
hello,
but like-
I'm Chesterling. Oh, well, my precious chalk. Oh, my devious plans for the questers of Yalpelor. La-di-da-di-da.
Oh.
Ooh, I know how to write, and I like paper. Me.
And my goblin like throws a stack of paper into the air. Literally no reason.
Oh, clean all the palace. Clean everything very well, except for the throne room. Don't go into the throne room. What's in the throne room? And he like throws a duster.
Gremlins aren't important. We're just slaves. Me.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Yeah, grumble.
Grabble.
Gremlin.
All right, this isn't fun anymore. I'm not having fun anymore.
I'm not cleaning up the papers.
Whoa! Don't. And the duster goes after having thrown the duster on the table, on the desk, so now it's away out of his reach, just leaves it there, and he goes into the passage and walks away.
Triss wants to observe to see if there is a locking mechanism that they touch that even on the other side of the passageway that Triss can see.
Alright, so all the other gremlins pick up their things and they walk out. They actually left a mess because they are convinced they did a good job in the middle of a random motion, like not even waiting until they finished mopping off the specific stain that were in front, or mopping up the water they just spilled or whatever. So there's big soapy smears on the window, and the papers that he threw up, and like one corner of the room is completely clean of dust in the corner between like two walls, and the other corner is very dusty with cobwebs. Like everything is very messy, and it's actually really easy to see the mess and the dirt that they left behind, because it's even more visible than before. And they start walking through the passage, still giving each other slaps and congratulating themselves and each other on a job well done. And then they close the passage behind them. You do see the lever that they pull. There's a short stony lever that they pull up or down to open and close the door.
For the record, does one gremlin say to the other,
Pull the lever, Frank.
Yes, exactly. And then the stone panel slides back in, looking exactly like all the other like little panels at the bottom, like that side of the wall of the room, completely unrecognizable from all the rest. You know where you can pull or push on the lever, but it's going to be unreachable for anyone who is not as nimble as you, right? You need to actually be passed on the other side of the panel to do it.
but luckily, as you have mentioned, Triss can in fact slide under cracks.
Yes.
Where's the I ship it symbol? 1 second.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool.
Take
so
your time.
The gremlins have left an absolute mess.
Yes.
And Triss is feeling quite satisfied at a job well done as well. And Triss is going to start scaling the table.
All right. It's not hard to climb up, and you are on the desk. Unfortunately, the stack of papers that he chose to reach for and throw up in the air is exactly the one that you were aiming for. Now,
But the stack of papers, he put something within them. So wouldn't the thing that he put inside of the papers?
It was actually he puts the stack of papers on top of something else.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so stack of papers flew up in the air, and now there's nothing there. So it might have been another piece of paper. It just flew up with the stack. And now it's lying down in a mess on the desk and partially off the desk on the ground, on the floor, in a mess of papers, different papers. You look through the couple that are closest to you. They are letters and reports from different parts of the kingdom, giving information about crops and logistics and monies that have been transferred from one place to the other as payment for nobles and for soldiers.
That means nothing to Triss. So, nor does it matter to Triss. So, I guess the first thing is, like, we're looking for a vial. So clearly the vial wasn't in the stack of papers. So the next thing that Triss is going to look for is there a drawer? Is there any sort of, like, even crack in the desk? Somewhere that could hide a vial.
All right, so you go to look for something that actually you know the shape, you know kind of what it is, what it's going to look like.
I know it's not on Chesterling's person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so cool. So you go look for it, and there are a few drawers on different sides of the desk, 4 in total, 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, and they're all locked.
Triss will slip through a crack.
All right, yeah, you can still do that. You're still a tiny little 2-dimensional square. You just slip from above the desk back down over the side and down into the drawer from the slit that separates it from the body of the desk itself, and you're in. Yeah, it's very dark in the drawer that you're in. It is a drawer full of different compartments, wooden compartments, and they have different tools in them that are used for navigation and measuring things on maps, and a lot of like very different sizes of very precise instruments.
Okay, but none of them feel or seem to be the vial, because like Triss is going through and like shake, but none of them feel like they're what we're looking for.
None of them are containers, even. Yeah.
Okay, then Triss is gonna try to slip through the slit in the next drawer.
Okay, you slip out. You slither along the top of the desk and back in. The next drawer has. So do you remember the time that he gave you 2 quests, and he did it with a spell, where he sprinkled dust, very fine dust, to create a snow globe effect, even though there was no globe, there was nothing, there was nowhere for the dust to get in and fill the shape. It created shapes. It like was suspended in the air and created shapes of the things that you were supposed to look for. There are materials here in jars and containers, and they look exactly like different kinds, different color and consistency of dust and sand particles. So you are looking actually at a bunch of these containers, each of which can have maybe the kind of dust that you're looking for.
Oh no!
Do any of them feel like dirt?
Oh.
You mean covered in moss and cracking jokes and spitting lava?
Exactly.
No, none of them do that.
No, but you know what I mean, because like Triss saw the dust specifically. Triss saw the dirt dust. Triss saw the doppelbanger dust. So do any of these feel like do any of them feel like? And also, we also had said that there was a possibility that Chesterling, I keep wanting to say Chesterfield, Chesterling didn't manage to only get dirt, that there might be dust from others, especially the others that we fought in there. So does any of this call to Triss?
That's true. If this Triss dust, she'd probably be able to sense it.
Oh, you know
might,
he has
yeah.
dust from all 4 of you, or 4 of them. You know that. The Grebble saw that. So he definitely collected dust from all 4 remains. Yeah. And okay, yeah. So for that, roll wisdom, please. You will roll.
I am not horrifically. Oh.
I was gonna say you're gonna roll with disadvantage. It doesn't matter apparently.
Does not matter.
Do you wanna invoke chaos in order to?
I do not. We're at 12.
Right.
But what Triss is gonna do instead is that Triss is nothing. If not somewhat pragmatic, Triss is gonna pull out their little bag of dust.
Mm-hmm.
And Triss is going to pull out their perfect jar. And Triss is going to dump all of the dust together into the jar and then fill each one of the vials up with the additional dust that they had.
Wait. You open all of the jars and vials in the drawer, and you put a little bit of each one of them.
All of it.
What do you mean all of it?
I'm not risking leaving. Triss isn't going to risk leaving any of it.
There's no room. There's no room in this jar for all of the contents of the drawer.
Well, then Triss will just dump the dust that was in the bag into the jar, and put all of the dust in the bag. All of the dust from all of these vials in
all
the
of
bag.
These vials, all of the dust in the
you
bag.
You only said there were a couple. I mean, I'm not assuming that they're not like these. We're in a tiny drawer.
There's
I don't
a
think
few. There's a few,
Yeah.
and they fill half a drawer. It's a bunch. So okay, that you
I
can
have
do.
a bag.
You can
I
do.
have
From
I have another bag, worst case scenario. I have a bag for stones. I'll just dump some stones in here. That'll be great. Like,
Okay.
It's totally doable. I think, though, Triss will probably pop open the drawer to make this particular operation.
You know you're doing this to a divination wizard. I'm just throwing it out there that he is a wizard.
You recognize that Triss has at this point no idea what the dust is or where the where the dust goes.
All
I don't
right.
and the 2 smarter friends that probably would have better idea.
What? We're the smart
We're
friends?
not
Unfortunately,
but
yeah.
the friends. Haha, exactly.
This is not a good scenario.
They're not around.
Yeah.
So what we're
Yeah.
gonna do is we're gonna dump all of the dust, assuming that hopefully Dirt's dust is in there because the jars look pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just gonna put some of the other dust, which may also contain Grebble, into these, and at least they still have dust, but they're not our dust.
Okay. Okay. You leave a markedly smaller amount of dust behind, barely enough to fill a couple of the jars in the drawer, and a lot of remains. The jars just stay lined with remains of the different colored dust, and when you dump it all in the bag,
Wait. Sorry. You said they're different colored?
they're different colors and consistencies. Yeah, not all of them look the same.
Oh, well, but I know what No. Sorry, pause. I didn't realize. Triss knows what color the dust was.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to tell in the dark exactly what.
No, I know,
is
but I
and what
popped open.
isn't.
I wanted to pop open the drawer.
How?
I will try the Darkmoor key on the inside. But I have my tiny Darkmoor key.
It
I'm gonna try
doesn't
to
fit.
open-
It's not a key to
Fine.
this drawer.
Fine, then I will do the next best thing, and I will use the last of my abilities. I have
Oh,
nothing left, guys. I will mimic myself into the shape of the key that would fit into this drawer and open it.
That's a fun ability.
That is very cool. I will just ask a question, a little clarifying question. Mimicking something that you don't know the shape of? That's a little...
But it's a key, and I know it's a key, so I will fit myself. I will fit Handkerchief Triss into the hole, basically. Oh, I don't even need to use Mimic. Handkerchief Triss is going to stuff themselves into the keyhole and use their corners to futz
to
inside
push
of
the
lock.
tumblers, alright.
To push the tumblers.
Sure.
I still have the Mimic ability, that's great.
Roll dexterity, and I will say that this is not something traditionally done by the Grease Man, but in this case, you're definitely doing what you're doing, you're supposed to be doing in this heist. Yeah, well, you got an 8 anyway, so you got it. And you...
Thank goodness, because that's another almost fumble.
Yeah, and so there's like a click and it opens, and then you can just very carefully pull yourself out, arrange yourself into a square again, and you can slide open the drawer. And now, again, there's not a lot of light, but now it's enough to see that some of these dusts are completely just white or red, completely different from what you're looking for. You narrow it down to 3 vials that seem to have... You have no idea what shape vials he used when they were there, because he was with Grebble, but you see 3 vials who have gray colored dust. The same, seem to be very fine gray dust, the kind that you know this dust looks like.
Excellent. So, Triss will. I think 3 vials could definitely go into the little bottle that Grebble gave Triss.
You can
So-
take them without mixing them, just take the vials, but then 3 vials will be missing.
We're not going to take the vials.
Okay.
Triss wants to empty the vials into the jar, all 3 of the vials into the jar, and then fill the vials up with the dust that we have that is the same
From
color.
the stable.
Cool. In
From the
that case,
stable.
the gray dirt, useless, inert dirt that you found that kind
Well,
of
it looks the same.
kind of
'Cause we put a little bit of
resembles
Grebble in there.
oh yeah, with a little bit of chaos Grebble in it, which looks kind of the same as the dust you just emptied, is enough to fill all 3 of these vials to about the same level they were filled before. And now you have, write down that in the jar, it was a jar that you were carrying, right?
Yes.
So now in the jar you have a mixture of 3 different gray dusts. Write it down so that you remember that's what you have.
And Triss will put the jar inside of themselves as the handkerchief, and then pull, like, I don't know if it's going to be even possible to, like, pull the drawer back open, but looking around the room, actually, Triss realizes that everything looks like a mess. The gremlins have left it like a mess, and it would be a reasonable assumption that potentially they had, like, knocked open the drawer as well. So rather than, I mean, I think Triss will try to close the drawer, but if it's not possible, Triss will kind of leave it open that little bit of a crack and then slip back under a piece of paper.
Oh my god, you're gonna get the gremlins in trouble for not cleaning?
Okay.
They didn't clean. What am I gonna do? I'm not a dust fairy. I'm not gonna go around and fix everything.
No problem. You
not
can
Triss's
do
superpower.
exactly that. You have exactly the time to do that, and then slip out of the drawer. When
Actually, would I have enough time to slip back under the door jam? Like to slip all the way through the door jam, or am I, or I guess what happens once I get down from the table is I'm going back to Mission Impossibling to try to get, over to where I was.
wait,
basically. I want to
what door jam?
Not door, like the to the entrance where Chesterling and Atlas
Oh.
and Grebble went.
So that is a while to go, and you're so small. It's going to be a few minutes to get there of doing the
Okay.
same flipping, over dramatic flipping. Yeah. Which now, looking from the desk, looking from above, you realize you don't need to do as much because you can just go down the side and then slip against the wall to the right side of the room.
That being said, I
but-
think I found what I think I wanted.
Mhm.
Triss will probably go down where the papers were that were thrown.
Okay.
To see what I can see.
So you slither along to the papers. Half of the stack spilled on the desk. So you go there, which is on your level on the desk. You exactly get almost to them. You're basically almost touching the first one when the door opens and a figure walks in, starts walking pretty confidently towards the desk. What do you do?
Oh, I hide under the paper.
All right, cool. You hide under the paper. It's still walking. You hear their steps, even though they're walking through the room on the floor with all the chalk lines. You can hear they're walking pretty quickly and confidently. In Chesterling's inner sanctum, which is at one of the highest floors of the palace. Above the throne room even, and where from the opening, the large window of the observatory, you can look out and see almost the entire city of Emag. You can see the beautiful colors of the sunset as Chesterling motions towards the nondescript sunset. As Chesterling motions towards
I just saw the smile on my
a
face.
table. It's a trigger now. I can't not. You're gonna ruin. It's gonna be night forever. This campaign from now. He motions towards a table on the side of the room and says, "Oh, put the cauldron there, please."
I do.
All right, and now he turns. Once you're there, he waits until you will join him and Grebble, back where he's standing in the middle of the large circular space.
Sure.
All right. Around you, before he starts talking, I'll give a little description of the room that you're in. It's an observatory, and there is a big telescope and a window. And the whole dome can obviously turn in place, so the telescope can look in different directions. It's a very very big contraption, and the big axis on which this whole dome turns is like a pole in the middle of the room that holds this whole dome up, and you can see some mechanisms on it that obviously can be used. One of them looks like a big wheel that you can turn, and obviously it connects to something in the axis, and it turns the dome around. There are some other mechanisms as well, levers, wheels, dials, and stuff that you can look at maybe some other time. But obviously there's some big complicated mechanism in there controlling the dome and the telescope.
I'm actually gonna. I think since I'm trying to stall and give Triss as much time as possible. I'm gonna be friendly, talk to Chesterling, and ask, what
Acquaintancely.
fascinating equipment you have here. Would you mind explaining what it does?
Sure. Yes, yes. Join me, please. And he walks towards the middle of the room. The big metal. It's not a wooden pole. It's just a metallic, huge metallic circular pole connecting the floor and the ceiling. And he shows you the wheel, and he asks you to try to turn the wheel and see what it does. You do that?
I
Atlas?
try to turn the wheel.
Yeah, so basically there's barely any sound. There's like a shh of like some parts moving against each other, some mechanism inside this huge axis, something moving and turning around in place, and then you can just see the whole dome turn very, very slowly. For each full turn of the wheel, it turns maybe like, a couple of degrees, and turning it a couple of times, or like a few times, barely changes the position of the big telescope a little bit to the right. He looks to be quite impressed with himself and looks at you and then he whispers, "Do you see how quiet it is? Can you hear?" Yeah.
That's a good point.
Amazing. This is quite a remarkable machine. How did you build it?
Well, I designed it. I didn't carry the tools and cast the steel, of course. Yes. So yes, I designed it myself. There is very close kinship between divination and astronomy.
Really?
Measuring the stars, the charts, astrology, and being able to ascertain what is happening in distant parts of the world or even in the future through watching the movements of the stars. Young Grumble probably knows that, right?
Oh, sure, I know all about it.
Yes, of course.
I didn't fall asleep in those classes.
I'm sure you didn't. So, all right. He stands back up, like he was crouching a little bit, looking and like measuring your reaction and looking at the machinery as you were turning the wheel. He stands back up, looks at the two of you again, makes eye contact, and says, "So, how about what I offered young Grumble earlier today? Have you come to tell me your decision?"
Right. Yes. So it's kind of worked in your favor in a strange way, because Dirt, who is no longer currently traveling with us, was a great deal more chaotic. And we were going by the name Servants of Chaos, and especially what with fighting chaotic versions of ourselves, I don't think we particularly want to be seen as quite that chaotic.
I mean, some of us have never been that chaotic, but do go on.
Excellent. I'm liking what I'm hearing up until now. Yes, keep going.
So, well, we need really your advice in terms of name, because we've been thinking just sort of questions of Yalpelor, but it sounds quite general. But I think, yes, to have more of a positive spin on who we are, and I think it will do us good to have people know who we are.
Amazing.
Great for future jobs. And
One of
all
my
all of your ideas, we never even thought about it, and then you just have a little speak to us, and all these ideas just sort of go, and the gears start turning like the gears in this room.
Grumble, say no more. You're talking about one of my favorite tasks in the world, branding. We need to brand you.
Like you do to cows.
Ooh, no, not at all. No, we create an image. We create a brand. Maybe there will be a sign
like
or
an emblem.
A logo of some sort. Yes, kind of like an emblem. But think about it as if you are the emblem. You are the emblem of the kingdom of Yalpelor.
Of the whole of this kingdom.
Well, the kingdom
specifically.
The kingdom in the royal sense. Of the you'll be servants of the queen, servants of order.
Does this mean the queen's gonna knight us?
Are we going to meet the queen?
There will be definitely letters of permit, of official standing, yes. Title of some sort, yes, we can arrange that.
Oh, that's very fancy.
Excellent, excellent. He starts pacing around the axis in a circle. So it's like a circle that takes him away from you, but then brings him back to you after a few steps. And then he just bypasses you every round. Every circle, he like walks a little bit around you, and then he completes the circle. And he says, "All right, so there will need to be some kind of a marking of a group, and maybe we'll leave the door open about that. I think maybe." We will not be very specific about the number of members of this group. If he wants to come back and maybe inquire about taking on the mantle for himself, we'll have another little talk. Achilles, I understand that you are also in favor of this.
I know Dirt likes mantles.
Oh, very droll.
Sorry, in favor of branding?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to have some other way for people to refer to us other than Agents of Chaos, which I've never identified with. And having a group name, I think, would boost morale.
Good, good, good. Let's workshop it. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, the Adventurers.
Adventurers. Oh, well, that's a good start. A good start. We can think of something more spicy than that. Maybe a little bit saucier. You need to be heroes of all classes, not just the nobles in the burbs, but also all of Emag and beyond. The farmers, the workers of Guttown.
Oh. Right. The defenders.
Defenders. Oh.
Defenders of Yalpelor.
Defenders of Yalpelor. Good, good.
The saviors.
Saviors. Ooh. Interesting, interesting. You would need to save Yalpelor from something then, huh?
Oh, I'm sure an opportunity will arise.
All right. Not bad.
Even, well, you said things earlier about emblems, and I thought of heralds. We could be like something. The herald, the something. Herald is a thing. I'm new at this.
The heralds. Very high and official. Sounds like you're supposed to herald a specific thing, and I don't know if that is the direction where you're going.
Oh, that's true. Oh goodness. I mean, it has to be.
Oh, Grumble! He puts a hand on your shoulder. Grumble! Fret not. No ideas are bad ideas when you're brainstorming. We're not gonna make any decisions today. All right?
Oh, that's good.
Good. Okay, now how about a little cleansing?
A change of topic, like talking about the cauldron. What do you mean by cleansing?
The cauldron. Yes. There's also the cauldron. He looks aside and he obviously the cauldron he obviously forgot about. He'll cast a spell from where he's standing, like at the random point in his circular path around the room, and he looks at the cauldron and he says, "All right, yes. So if you cook animal parts and into a stew in the cauldron and you eat the stew, you will gain some of their abilities and a part of their physical form for a short while. In fact, I think this will last until you eat anything else. This is going to be the duration of the effect. Yes, quite a powerful one. If you keep from eating anything for a while, you can probably do it at least for a day.
If we ate bits of Grabbit, we would grow giant hands.
Yes, I was about to inquire. How do we know which part of the animal will manifest after we eat?
That depends on specific recipes. I cannot determine all of them right now, but it does depend on the part of the animal that you eat. For example, Grabbits are known for being able to reach distant locations by hopping on their feet. So you will probably, if you cook Grabbit feet, you will be able to hop very far.
Ooh.
Interesting.
All right, good. Also, if you submerge a dead body inside it, it creates a mimic. Which looks, for all intents
Beg your pardon?
A mimic of a dead corpse. Of course, it will have to be an animal, a small animal of some sort, because it is just a cauldron, not a very big one. But it will raise a mimic from a whole entire corpse. The mimic looks like the original thing, but it's going to be completely mute, make no sounds, and be controlled by the person who prepared it. Not very useful in a fight, I would say. But
sounds
maybe.
very evil.
So if a rat
Evil.
was dead and we put the rat in the cauldron, we'd get a second rat-like thing.
Yes, exactly.
That was kind of alive, but not talking. That is controlled by us.
Yes, you will be able to control and command it to go do things.
Right. It's like necromancy without quite being necromancy.
It is necromancy, and it is extremely evil.
It is a kind of a mimicry of necromancy, I would say. Yes, it is something that someone would prepare if they wanted to engage in necromancy without technically being blamed for being a necromancer. Yes. It's a magical cauldron having to do with transformation. It's going to be very useful for cooking magical potions, reagents, poultices, useful healing materials or salves, anything like that. This cauldron will be quite good for. It's not part of the intended use of the cauldron. I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the purpose this witch kept this cauldron for. Are we done talking about the cauldron?
I think so.
All right, now how about some cleansing?
Yes, I think so.
What do you mean by cleansing?
Cleansing of chaos.
Oh, are we covered in chaos?
You are absolutely reeking of it.
Oh, well, I'd quite like to be less chaotic.
Oh,
Yes,
all right.
me as well.
Good. And how about you, Trisisteris? And he looks at Lohi on your shoulder.
Do we get to say what Lohi does?
I think Jada gets to say what Lohi does.
Oh. Okay.
So basically, he looks right at Lohi because he's sure that it's Triss, and he says, "Yes. Well, what about you, Trisisteris?"
Lohi doesn't move. Lohi just stays there.
Oh, Trisisteris has their own way of cleansing chaos. It's a summoning thing, very private ritual, so they will deal with that on their own.
Deal with that on their own. Well, I will believe it when I see it, but all right. Okay, so you're saying that cleansing is in order.
I think both Atlas and I would love to be
Yes, we would like to cleanse.
Chaosified.
Good.
Is it a long process?
No, not very long at all, actually.
Oh.
While we're
Is there
here
any
now.
way of doing it in a very thorough way that means that we're properly reordered?
Yes, definitely. I'm going to do it very, very ordered. It's going to be very thorough. It's going to be cleansing.
Oh, excellent.
It's gonna
That's
be
just what I was after.
every nook and crevice. I will leave no stone unturned, so to speak. All right.
Okay, well, there's no need for you to touch my stones, but everything else.
I'm sorry.
So
am
actually, now I say that, I gave my bag of stones away, so don't even worry about it.
Oh, all right, he says, and then turns his back to you and walks. So around the walls of the room, there's a lot of laboratory equipment. It seems to be in disarray. None of it is. Grebble, you're the one who can tell that all of it is connected in weird, haphazard ways. Vials and little burners and how do you call that flat thing that you burn coals in? Braziers, and all other kinds of equipment to do rituals and perform magic spells with. Then you look around you and you kind of realize, actually, how much you realize is going to be determined by a dice roll. So how about you roll intelligence, and so you get advantage. Okay, you succeeded anyway. You get. I just want to say you got advantage from your trait, your formal education, but you get disadvantage because it's not your role in the heist. So just cancel each other out, and it's a regular roll. Yeah, not that it would matter for this, because both dice rolls succeeded. So you, you do realize that this room was built specifically to be in a convergence of ley lines, so that powerful rituals can be enacted here. This room lies in a spot where if you do the right ritual here, it will take effect over all of EMAG and maybe even beyond. It depends on the power of the spell that you're casting and your knowledge as a wizard in general. So yeah, it's definitely like a divination wizard like himself. He can probably look from here to very distant places, and if he did, actually,
God, he can always watch us.
So I was gonna say, he hinted at the fact that he was tracking you from afar in the past, and he also appeared in Triss's dream, so-called dream, at some point. So your guess is that probably from here he can do that kind of thing.
Does he watch us bathe?
We don't know.
Do you even take off your armor when you bathe?
Yeah, I'm like now questioning. Do you even bathe?
Do you even bathe?
Have we ever had access bathe?
I should.
We should do a scene. We should do a solo episode that's like the hot springs episodes that you get in Japanese anime.
I mean, we should do a whole episode where we determine.
Why solo? I think we should all go together.
Okay.
No, I mean
Trish
solo
is
like
so
just like one
down.
episode, like the one-off episode. You have the beach episode, and you have the hot springs episode.
Oh.
I also really want a beach episode.
And ladies and gentlemen, maybe a poolside episode.
This is all
That's
noted.
just-
This is
that's
all
perfect.
noted. It might happen. So he constructs a ritual. Yeah. What would the ritual be? Basically, it will be placing stands of various heights with crystals in them, and then turning on a source of light, which is like a lantern, but a very brightly burning one. There's some kind of chemical or metal or something in the lantern that burns white and very bright, and then placing the lantern.
I was just gonna say, I don't think Lohi is enjoying this.
Oh, so when the white light starts to burn, and there's like a burning sound from the lantern, what does Lohi do?
Oh, Lohi, with a kind of squawk, jumps, sort of like launches himself from Akos's shoulder, and and basically flies to anywhere that is not with the light.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Chesterling is very concentrated on the ritual, so he yelps a little bit, and he sees Lohi fly, and then he looks at you, Aklis, and he says, "Oh, is it a problem?
What did he say?
Is that a problem with what I have been?"
I don't believe it is. I think we should just carry on as if nothing happened at all.
All right, we will carry on. Let's.
I'm so convincing.
Supremely convincing. My
In fact,
goodness.
actually, you're doing something that is against your role. It's not what you're
Whoops,
supposed to.
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot that you are actually not the one who's supposed to be the face.
Naturally intimidating
Yeah,
though.
now intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was not an intimidation attempt. So yeah, I am gonna have it a roll. So it's a charisma roll at disadvantage. In fact, this is what it is for you.
This is not gonna go well.
Yeah.
Wait,
go.
what am I attempting to do?
Convince him that everything is okay, that he doesn't need to look into Triss or what he thinks is Triss.
Well.
Yeah, alright. So he stops the ritual and he...
Grebble, a little help?
He walks over to where Lohi sat on like a tall cabinet, on top of a tall cabinet outside of his reach. And he looks up and he says, Sisteris, maybe you should retire outside of this room for a little while?
Lohi hisses.
Now, Triss, and I come over as well. Triss, what have we said about being nice to Chesterling? Come down here.
Does Grebble like raise his hand?
Yeah.
I think Lohi probably flies to his hand and then sort of just like walks up his arm to get to his shoulder, and then sort of hides in his hair and sticks out his head and hisses.
So Grebble's gonna start walking out of the room and he's gonna talk as though he's arguing with Triss.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, listen, I thought we said we were gonna be.
All right, this is another charisma roll.
While I'm facing away, I'm gonna do Triss's voice as well. But I don't like it with me. Come on now. What did I say? Don't say rude things. Yeah, but Grebble. Oh, right. Come on.
All right, roll charisma for this, and you get advantage because you're.
I think you should get disadvantage for that terrible charisma.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't work. Oh
Oh,
god.
no! Oh my god, I was kidding.
Oh shit. Grebble,
Sorry.
a little
Let me
question.
control Lohi.
Chaos table.
You want me to roll the chaos? No,
I'm asking if you want to try to succeed.
I'm not saying I condone using the chaos table, but in this case, I don't not condone it.
I think if we're in the process of about to be cleansed, I think I'm gonna do it and like maybe he'll just like speed up the process and cleanse us super quickly, so that the world doesn't go super chaotic.
All right, let us do it. So now,
Taking a risk.
Oh, terrified.
yeah. So you roll and you roll a d12. So roll a d12 and let's see what happens on the chaos table.
10.
A 10. We never had a 10.
No, we've never been this high.
Oh,
Never been
jeez.
this high. Oh,
All right,
I
10.
heard that
Oh, that's amazing. It's called opportunity.
Woo.
You succeed, or you can succeed, but you lose 1d6 points in a random stat. You take damage. You take 1d6 damage to one of your stats.
Oh, okay, which takes days to recover. Right?
Yes. So you can succeed. What we need to understand, first of all, which stat it is. So roll a d6 to understand which of the 6 stats you take the damage to.
Which reminds me, Itamar, to ask you how you recover stats.
You rest for a night.
gain
3.
1 back.
Yeah, you got 1 back for each stat.
Per night.
3 is your wisdom. You take damage to your
Yep.
wisdom. Roll another d6 to see how much damage
We'll
you
see
take.
how much. Oh god. 3.
3. All right. So your wisdom goes down from 11 to an 8.
8.
Yeah, and it'll take 3 days to bring back, as usual. Now, how do you succeed by taking damage to your wisdom? What exactly happens there?
This is a good question. Maybe like Loki bites my ear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to work out what my how do I, or maybe I like walk into a bookshelf and like bang my head.
You walk into a shelf next to the door while you're walking out. Still in the observatory.
I'm gesticulating and trying to get Loki to come out of my hair.
The shelf unhinges, goes out, like just jumps up a little bit, and then because it's turned up, it goes out of the the hinges that hold it to the wall, and it falls down with all of the machinery on it shattering and breaking on the floor. But Chesterling is distracted by this enough not to realize that you're doing a terrible job mimicking, impersonating Triss's voice. So you can just either walk out or stay there and pause or do whatever you want to do. But he's not going to suspect you of. He believes that this is Triss. Is my point.
I'm gonna hold my head. I'm gonna open the door and I go, "No, look what you've done, Triss!" And I'm gonna open the door and hopefully get Loki to fly out through the door and then close the door.
All right. Cool. So you.
Loki is going to start flying back to the room then.
I told you it was. I told you it was chaos. I told you Triss was chaotic. I'm so sorry about knocking all your stuff down.
Wait. I think because the dice roll result was a success, then Lohi does stay out. We want the action to be a success eventually. So Lohi doesn't fly into the room.
Saying, but flying to the other room.
Oh,
right?
down?
To where Triss is. Yeah, to where Triss is.
Okay, cool. So Lohi starts flying down the stairs towards the throne room and then down. Yeah, there's a lot of stairs to go down. So, yeah, sure. So Lohi flutters away, and you look back into the room, and what did you say? What did you describe?
I'm so sorry. I mean, I told you Triss was. They were very chaotic, and I'm so sorry that this happened. Because did the chaosometer go up?
Yeah. So now the chaosometer exactly goes up to 13. So. Let's remind ourselves of that little buzz, sub-audible buzz that you heard/felt when you were outside of the farmhouse after the fight with the Chaos Doppelgangers.
I don't want to remember it.
It was Dave, the Chaos Knight. You recognized that buzz from your 2 meetings in the past, and he was on his way. You decided not to let him manifest and appear where you are, but where you realize that in the situation where you're in right now, when the chaosometer is on 13, it means that you're so chaotic that the entire area around you becomes chaotic, and Dave the Chaos Knight is gonna arrive. It's gonna be in the next few minutes. And then Chesterling walks over to the shelf. He looks at you and he says, "Well, we will need to take care of that right after we finish with that." And then he stops and he looks up at just a random point in the wall. It seems like he's listening to something far away. And then he says, "Someone's been touching my things." And he opens the door and walks out of the observatory. Triss, you are there hiding beneath a piece of paper. There's quick steps.
Well, I'm looking through the papers that were there, but ready to like slip underneath.
So there's someone in the room, no?
Yeah.
I'm in the room, but
so you're hiding beneath one of the pieces of paper while somebody's walking towards the desk.
Oh, yes, sorry, apologies.
Yes, and while you're there waiting to see what they're going to do, they're lifting the piece of paper that you are underneath. They're just picking that piece of paper up and lifting and looking at that. It's still hiding you from them, but you're in plain view with 2 big white eyes in the middle of a black diamond shape. And it's...
I close my eyes.
Okay. It's Timothy. Timothy reading a piece of paper. Yeah. So you just stay there. Just remain there.
Yeah, because I think I wouldn't know that it's Tim, even because I'm behind the piece of paper as well, so I wouldn't be able to see who's reading it. So I'm just plastered to the piece of paper, unmoving. All
right. Oh, you're still on. He's lifting you with the paper. You're saying you're still on. You're clinging.
That was my impression from what you described.
I see. All right. No, I meant that you're on the table. But if you're on the piece of paper, that's very cool. So he's holding the piece of paper with you
I'm
on the back. Perfect. And he's reading what is on the paper, and then he tisks and nods and puts the paper down a little bit to the side and picks up another piece of paper and starts reading through them, looking for a specific page on the desk. Now you're free to move, but you're hidden behind a paper sheet, and he's still there.
Triss is very confused because Tim is a friend, but this is not a. No one else is supposed to be heisting in Yalpelor, but the questers of Yalpelor. Triss is going to try to slip down the desk.
All right. That is a dexterity roll with advantage.
Also, Triss is really confused, which might give them disadvantage. Oh, didn't. That's
All
good.
right. All right.
Why would you say that you have?
Why would you
disadvantage?
volunteer?
Don't do that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're saying that, but minutes ago you kind of volunteered to roll the dice when I forgot that you even should have.
I did.
I'm
I'm
also
nothing.
dumb, but that
Yeah,
doesn't
we're
mean that
all
other
pretty
people
dumb.
would be dumb.
We're all pretty
All
dumb.
right.
I'm gonna say this though. Like I'm getting off the table, but I'm still trying to get down to where the rest of the stack of papers are.
Cool.
And I'll probably try to see who it is. Which is I guess Timothy.
Yeah, so you see, while you're slipping out, it's while he's just like leaning over to pick up another piece of paper. So you take this opportunity to just slip and down from the desk, and you see that it's Timothy. He's looking for a specific piece of paper, and then you float. You just fall and float down gently on top of the little mess of papers on the floor underneath the desk that he hasn't noticed yet. And you see, from above, while you're turning a little bit in the air, when your eyes are pointed down at a specific second, a specific instant, a corner of one of the sheets is exposed between like other pieces of paper, and a signature there reads Timothy Guardsman.
On a piece of paper.
I
Did he
aim
sign his soul over to Chesterling?
All right. And we did. We do know that you know how to read, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is how I became who I became.
All right. You slip exactly underneath the two other sheets that are covering this letter, and with your eyes pointed downwards, which means that you skim exactly the contents of this letter that is written in handwriting with ink. On a very regular rectangular sheet of paper with a neat but not especially aesthetic handwriting of someone who probably was brought up well, learned to read and write at a young age, and has been practicing it moderately ever since. And the letter is a love letter.
To whom?
To
Who is it addressed to?
to Chesterling.
Triss swallows the letter.
All right, write it down in your inventory.
What?
I need to further investigate this with Grebble and with Atlas, and I'm not going to be able to do that without the actual letter.
Such a twist.
By the time that you have the opportunity to read the letter to them, you'll have the
we were
letter.
in a heist, but maybe we're in a telenovela.
We are 100% in a telenovela. Oh my god, that means that Timothy was
100%
betraying
into
us.
it.
He's done looking through the letters on the desk. He didn't find what he wanted, and now he's walking back. You see that even though he's walking quickly and confidently, he's being very careful not to step on the lines of chalk. He's actually doing it very well. And now,
Chesterling's gonna catch him.
when he walks back, he suddenly sees the papers on the floor, and he starts crouching to pick them up, and you're hiding between them. What do you do?
I close my eyes and make like a handkerchief.
Okay. He lifts another sheet, looks at it, puts it aside, lifts another one, looks through it, and then lifts a third one and notices a completely matte black square, like a perfect Vanta black square, not reflecting any light in the middle of the sheet. It's kind of like surprising for him because he doesn't even know what he's looking at for a second. Then he gingerly reaches over and picks you up, and and yeah, he feels that it's a very thin, very velvety fabric, very nice to the touch. And then he gets like a
He's
wistful,
gonna sniff
a
you.
wistful look in his eyes, and he puts the handkerchief, the black pocket square, against his cheek for a second, and then he's gonna fold it and put it in his pocket, like his pants pocket, like the side of his pants.
Oh, wait, but it's an open pocket?
Yeah, it's a regular pants pocket. In fact, it's kind of like cargo pants, so it's very like you can climb in and out very easily. It's a very big pocket. So
now what you see is Timothy Guardsman has like this open cargo pocket, and there's just these two white eyes. Like,
yeah.
whoops.
And he
cargo pants in Yalpelor?
I was just referring to
Now
the
they
description
do.
of the pants, of the pant pockets. The pockets are because
I feel
he's
like
a guard.
Wearing these, like, I feel like he's
The-
wearing these simultaneously very tight and very loose trousers. And so these are like tight on the booty and then loose on the leg, and that's where the
Yeah.
pockets are.
All right.
I know
I have
exactly.
some questions.
Okay.
When Timothy came in, did he leave the door open?
Oh, cause Lohi.
Because Lohi's gonna show up in a second.
See, that's a good
And
question.
fulfilling.
I think because he's in a big hurry, he was not as careful as he almost always are, and he left the door a little bit open. So yeah, and then he finishes looking through the letters. He doesn't find his letter, and he stands up, and he's in a bit of an emotional turmoil for a second. He looks around and suddenly he notices the mess. There's a big, like, lots of soap that's been uncleaned from the window, and a little pile, somebody gathered a little pile of dust, of dirt from the floor, but didn't sweep it away for some reason. Like, lots of little signs of something going a little bit wrong. And then there's a bump from the door, and Lohi, after having bumped clumsily into the door, flies in through the crack in the door. And what does Lohi do? Tell us, please, Tris.
Lohi sees Timothy, who I think Lohi has seen before, and knows that Timothy is a friend of Dirt's.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he lets out this little like ah, and then and flaps over and just sort of like flaps in Timothy's face, and then goes and hides in his hair.
Oh, okay. Timothy doesn't recognize Lohi, though, because Lohi is black. It's soot black now, so it's a little dragonling, black, who caws and then flies right at his face. This is what he understands. So
Everything is going so well.
yeah.
Clear.
So basically,
Best heist ever.
Timothy is confused, disappointed, a little heartbroken, and unsure of what his next step is going to be. But he's still a trained guard. In fact, even trained to be a bodyguard when there's need for it. So he just reaches over and snatches Lohi from the air in the mid-flight, and now he's grabbing Lohi. With like restraining Lohi's wings and not allowing him to fly, not letting him fly. In a second, he'll realize that the paint is coming off, but he's not realizing that yet. And he starts walking out of the room. It's going to take him a few seconds.
I don't think, to be fair, I don't think Lohi is gonna fight much. I think Lohi just sort of like when he's caught is sort of like confused.
Yeah. He's docile for a minute there.
For at least a moment or
Yeah.
two, but if he keeps holding him this roughly, not for much longer.
Okay. He starts walking towards the door, and he walks out, and then he closes the door behind him. And then he looks at the little dragonling in his hand, unsure what to do with it. And then he notices some paint coming off. Then he notices his fingers are covered in black soot, and realizes that this is not exactly what it seems to be. So he walks over to the nearest source of water, which is in a courtyard. He crosses the hallway, turns right, goes out the door to an inner courtyard, and walks over to a barrel full of water, where he's gonna, gently wash the paint and see if this is really what he
Oh
suspects
yeah,
it
no,
is.
Lohi's gonna fight him. Lohi's gonna fight him the minute that he sees water. He is the son of dirt. Dirt
Okay.
does not like this
Sure.
at all.
Sure. Oh, what's going on with your camera, Jada?
Oh, I don't know what's going on with it. It
It's
seems to
like-
be freaking out.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, and this is as Chesterling goes down quickly towards his room. Grebble and Aklis, when he stormed out of the room and says somebody's touching my stuff, what did you do?
So we can hear this like growing sense of chaos.
Yes,
Right?
Dave is
And
on his
I-
way, is going to arrive.
Aglis, we were too chaotic. I thought we were gonna get cleansed, and now we
When
were
you
so
say
chaotic.
we,
Right.
it was
Well-
most definitely not chaotic.
Well, then I mean, me and Lohi were too chaotic.
You are
Right.
Aklis. You are part of this. Triss is only not part of
Well,
this.
but
as-
I
'cause
didn't do any chaos
It's
shit.
it's true, but you're part of the group. You're a member of the Questers of Yalpelor, temporary to be determined.
Ow,
But
we-
and you when
I'm well aware.
yeah. So
We've got minutes to figure out how Chesterling was going to do this cleansing and do it ourselves. Otherwise, Dave the Chaos Knight is going to be unleashed on this world. Now, luckily, this is a very, very magical spot we're in. So even if we just do a tiny bit of it, it might do enough to stop him. We need to figure it out now.
Right, Grebble, I think you are more suited than I am for the task of figuring out how to do a cleansing ritual.
Right.
You do
I-
have a formal education.
I'll start figuring stuff out, but you've got to get everything that fell off this shelf and put the shelf back up and everything on it.
I'll
That's
try.
orderly. That's orderly. And Grebble runs over.
Use
to
your
where-
muscles.
I
Grebble
mean,
runs over to where Chesterling was just as he was starting this ritual, and starts trying to like look at everything
all right.
and figure out what was going to happen.
We will be back to this hectic scene next week. It's going to be all we do for now. So yeah, maybe unsurprisingly, we are going to play another episode of this heist next week. And we'll see what is the conclusion of this adventure. We thought at some point somebody mentioned it's going to be just a one session thing and you're going to level up, but you're going to work hard for that level apparently. Okay. So that is it. Yeah, Triss is in. Just to answer the question that popped up in chat. Oh yeah, Jada asked a question in chat.
It's me. Like, I was just asking,
you're in the
where's Liam Neeson? When,
You
when
are-
Trish
you-
gets taken?
You are in the pocket, in the big pants pocket of.
No, I do know where I am. I just meant, like, where is Liam Neeson when you need him? That's all I meant.
Well, I don't know which character is the closest to Liam Neeson in the story. It might be Dave. All right.
I'll take it.
Cool. We'll be back next week. Saturday as usual, 9 p.m. Israel time. I'm going to do some roleplay shit. Different every time. Either we chat, talk, write some stuff, or play a game together. And on Mondays at 9, Questers of Yalpelor, as always. And until the next time we see you, play hard and stay safe. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.